So let's welcome Padraic Keohane.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
Good. You?
Good, good. I'm doing fine, thank you. And today I'm going to tell you about my first date. First time I ever officially went out with a girl. Back in high school. Her name was Jackie. Her hair was brown. Her eyes were green. She was a thin little thing, and we had met in the drama club. And I had never gone on an official date before, but I had called her a few times. I had my own private phone in my bedroom, which I'd asked for Christmas, so I could talk to all my lady friends. And she was the only one I ever had at the time. So I called her quite a bit. But finally we set up a date. I said, oh, dinner and a movie, and she agreed to it. So she lived in New Jersey, I was in New York, about 20, 30-minute drive. Drove over to pick her up. Got there early as always. Knocked on the door. Jackie wasn't ready. But her father invited me in and took me into the study and had that father-boy about to go out with his daughter kind of talk with me. He sat me down and said, so, you're going out with my daughter tonight. So how's school? Oh, it's very nice. Well, what are you studying? Well, where are you going to go to college? What kind of job are you going to get? Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? And I'm thinking, I'm just here to date your daughter tonight. We're just seeing a dinner and a movie. And there's a lot of long pauses. I don't know what to say for most of it. And I'm looking at the clock, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, wondering, where's Jackie? What's taking her so long? And so I started looking around his study, trying to see, well, maybe there's something I can ask him to get him to start talking. And I noticed he has a lot of books. And I actually noticed he does have a complete collection of Grimm's fairy tales, Hans Christian Andersen. And I'm like, oh, Grimm's fairy tales. Isn't that where, like, Red Riding Hood really gets eaten by the wolf and stuff? And he's like, oh, yes, yes. I see you like stories there. Well, I think stories are very important. They're part of our culture. In fairy tales, when the young boy wants to marry the princess, the king makes him do something really extraordinary. You want to go out with my daughter tonight? Wonder what I should have you do. And I'm thinking, well, what are you talking about? And he's like, I'm not going to have you do anything too strenuous. In fact, I'll make it easy. Just tell me a story. And if he asked me that today, I'd be like, what do you want to hear? But back then, I couldn't think of anything. And I'm like, I don't know any stories. He's like, come on, you want to go out with my daughter? Just tell me a story. Give me anything. I couldn't even think of the Three Little Pigs at that time. But then Jackie comes down the stairs, and I'm thinking, oh, well, very nice to meet you, sir. I'll see you later. And he goes, no, sweetie. No, you're not going out tonight. No. This boy, he doesn't think you're worth it. And she looks at me, and she's mad. And she storms up the stairs. And he leads me to the front door, closes it behind me. I'm standing on the porch saying, how did he get involved in this? I was just going to date his daughter, and I didn't know what to do. Do I knock again? I was sort of mad, a little upset there, and I figured, well, I guess I'm not going out tonight, and I decided to go back to the car. As I'm going out to the car, I see some guys coming up the road, and these are big guys, probably football players, because I'm about 5'11", they're taller than me, and they're really big, and they're coming up the road, and one of them's carrying like something on his back, looks like a sack or something. And I'm thinking, this is great. Not only am I not going out tonight, but these guys will beat my brains. This will be a perfect day. So discretion being the better part of valor, I decide to get behind a tree and just wait for them to pass. As they're passing, I hear one of them say, I'm tired carrying this dead dog around. Why don't you carry it for a while? And then the other one says, I'm not going to carry it. Hey, why don't we get the kid hiding behind the tree and carry it? And all three of them come around the tree, like, hey kid, you can carry a dead dog for a while. I don't know what to do, he's a big guy, so I'm like, sure. And they put this dead dog on my back. He's like a big Great Dane there, and it's pretty heavy. And we start walking up the road, two guys in front, one guy behind me. I don't know where we're going. We walk for a long time. Finally we come to a church. We go in the back, they go to the graveyard, and they start, digging out a little grave there. I figure this is my chance. I put the dog down. I start to sneak away, but I see, if I try to run, they're going to catch me. But there's a tree. I climb in the tree, try to hide in some branches. As I'm hiding in the tree, there's a giant raven next to me. And the raven says, those guys are up to no good. You should really get out of here. Now this is very surprising to me, because you never see ravens in New York and New Jersey. I agree with him. I'm like, well, yeah, but if I make a run for it, they're going to catch me. He's like, well, here, give me your hand. So I reach out, puts out his claw, he takes my hand, he flies off with me. We fly up pretty high. I'm like, you don't have to go too high. My car, it's just right over there. He's like, well, just a second. You're a little heavy. Let me put you down for a second. I got to get my breath back. And so he puts me on the moon. Now, fortunately for me, the moon was a crescent moon, so there's a place for me to sit. If it was a round one, I would have just slipped right off the edge. So I'm sitting on the moon, and he flies off. He says, I'll be back in a few moments. You'll be fine. You're okay. Now I'm thinking, well, how do I get down from here? I'm looking down like, geez, I can't really jump or nothing. And now it gets really weird, because a door opens up next to me. And a little guy pokes his head out. It's a little man in the moon. And he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, don't worry about me. I'm just waiting on a raven. He's going to come back and take me down in a minute. He's like, no, you can't stay here. You get out of here. I'm like, I can't. I'll get killed if I fall. The raven will be back. And he takes a broom and he starts prodding me with it. And soon he knocks me off and I start falling down to the ground. I don't know what to do. All I wanted to go on a date tonight. And this is how it's going to end. So I'm falling straight to the ground. Just before I hit, something grabs me by the shirt, starts taking me around. It's the raven. And he's like, what did you do? I told you I'd be right back. And I'm like, the guy pushed me off. What was I supposed to do? Well, the raven, he landed me by my car. So I thanked him, got in the car, drove home. I was hoping my mother was not awake, because she would ask, why was I covered in dirt, moon dust, and bird feathers? Fortunately, she wasn't. I sneak up to my bedroom. As soon as I get in the bedroom, my phone rings. I answer it. It's Jackie's father. She said, hey, I bet that if you want to go out with my daughter tomorrow night, you'll have a story to tell me now. Won't you?